Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news: something big is happening in the AFC North, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another championship, run a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years to come. This isn't just a rumor or a minor shakeup. It's a seismic move that could redefine the landscape of the AFC North and set the Steelers up for a new era of dominance. We're bringing this to you firsthand, breaking down what's happening, what it means, and how it could impact your beloved Steelers. But before we dive into the details, if you're a true Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to show your support and to stay updated with all the latest news. Let us strengthen this community, grow together, and reach that 1,000 subscriber milestone. Share this video with your friends, fellow fans, and anyone who loves Pittsburgh Steelers football. Now buckle up, because here comes the big news. So, let us start by setting the scene. The Steelers are in a bit of a tricky spot right now on offense. We all know that offense has been a concern for a while, especially when it comes to quarterback stability and playmaking in the passing game. The team is still waiting on a definitive answer about whether Aaron Rodgers will join Pittsburgh, but as NFL Network's Tom Pelissero pointed out, the legendary quarterback has not yet committed to the Steelers. The rumors have been swirling, and fans are eagerly awaiting a decision, but nothing concrete has come out just yet. The expectation was that Rodgers, with his Hall of Fame credentials and experience, would be a perfect fit, bringing leadership, precision, and explosiveness to Pittsburgh's offense. But if he chooses to go elsewhere, or if the Steelers decide to pivot in another direction, the entire offseason narrative changes. Now, in the meantime, the Steelers are facing another problem: wide receiver. After trading away George Pickens, a move that surprised many, the team finds itself lacking a reliable, proven threat on the outside to complement DK Metcalf. That leaves a pretty significant gap in their passing attack. In fact, the need for a new playmaker is more urgent than ever, especially if the Steelers are serious about competing at the highest level. They need someone who can stretch defenses, make contested catches, and help open up the field for their quarterback, whether it's a rookie or a veteran under center. And here's where things get really interesting. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox recently proposed a Blockbuster trade idea that could shake things up big time. Now, I know what you're rethinking: massive trades aren't common, especially ones involving high-caliber players. But this isn't just any trade. It's a package deal that could add around $212 million worth of talent to Pittsburgh's roster, significantly boosting their offensive firepower. The proposal suggests that the Steelers could land Kirk Cousins, a veteran quarterback who, despite recent struggles, still has a lot to offer, and Kyle Pitts, a talented tight end with the potential to be a game-changer if used correctly. Let us break down the trade proposal in detail. The Steelers would receive Kyle Pitts and Kirk Cousins. On the flip side, the Atlanta Falcons would get a second-round pick in 2026, a fifth-round pick in 2026, and a fourth-round pick in 2027. Now, I know what some of you are thinking: Kyle Pitts has been a disappointment at times, especially when comparing his rookie season to subsequent years. But he is still a high-upside player, an above-average pass catcher with versatility that isn't typical for tight ends. He can line up in the slot, out wide, and create mismatches. And with Pittsburgh's offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, who was Atlanta's head coach when Pitts was drafted, there's a familiarity that could help unlock his true potential. The real question is, why would the Falcons consider trading Pitts? Well, FOX Sports' Jordan Schultz reports that Pitts has drawn trade interest from several teams, but Atlanta's front office prefers to hold on to him. Still, the NFL is a business, and if the right offer comes along, teams have to consider their options. Pitts has been a bit of a disappointment after his promising rookie year, where he racked up over 1,000 yards, but he is still an above-average pass catcher who could give Pittsburgh a much-needed upgrade at the position. As for Kirk Cousins, he is a more realistic target for the Steelers if Aaron Rodgers doesn't commit. Cousins is coming off a season where he looked like a shell of himself, especially after suffering a torn Achilles that sidelined him for part of last year. But there's hope he can bounce back now that he is a year removed from that injury. Plus, with the Steelers being in a bit of a precarious spot at quarterback, taking a flyer on Cousins might be their best shot at stabilizing the position and giving themselves a chance to compete in 2024 and beyond. However, it's not all smooth sailing. The trade cost would be significant, and Pittsburgh might also need to absorb some of the remaining guaranteed money left on Cousins' contract. But at this stage, with so much uncertainty around Rodgers and their current quarterback room, taking this kind of gamble might be the only way forward. If they can get Cousins back to his former form and pair him with Pitts, who has the size and athleticism to be a real mismatch, the Steelers could see a dramatic uptick in their offensive production. Now, let us talk about the practical aspects. Pitts, despite his struggles, has the tools to be an impact player, especially in a system that can utilize his unique skill set. Remember, Pitts had his lone 1,000-yard season under Arthur Smith in Atlanta, and Smith's offense has the capacity to feature two tight ends effectively. Pitts isn't a typical tight end. He can line up in multiple spots, and his ability to stretch the field could really open things up for Metcalf and the rest of the passing attack. The main concern is his inconsistency and the fact that he has yet to fully live up to his first-round billing, but in the right environment, he could flourish. On the other hand, Kirk Cousins, despite some recent setbacks, remains a solid if not spectacular quarterback option. His experience, leadership, and ability to distribute the ball are assets the Steelers could desperately need, especially if they miss out on Rodgers. And with the NFL's evolving landscape, sometimes teams have to roll the dice on veteran players who can steady the ship and provide stability while younger players develop. Of course, this entire scenario hinges on multiple variables: whether Rodgers signs with Pittsburgh, whether Pitts becomes available via trade, and how the Steelers' front office evaluates their priorities. But what is clear is that the Steelers are trying to do something bold this offseason. They are willing to explore trades, options, and new strategies to turn their fortunes around. And if this trade were to happen, it could be a game-changer, adding nearly $212 million worth of talent that can make an immediate impact. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. But beyond just this trade proposal, it's worth considering the bigger picture. The Steelers have a rich history of making bold moves when it counts, whether it was acquiring key players in the past or making strategic draft picks. This season, the stakes are even higher. The AFC North is fiercely competitive, with teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Cleveland all vying for supremacy. The Steelers know that to compete with those teams, they need to maximize their talent and perhaps take some calculated risks. And speaking of that history, Pittsburgh has always been a team that values resilience, grit, and smart football. The last few seasons have shown flashes of brilliance, but consistency has been a challenge. Bringing in a player like Kyle Pitts, who has the potential to be a top-tier weapon, combined with a seasoned quarterback like Kirk Cousins, could be just what the team needs to shake things up. Looking ahead to the upcoming season, expectations are cautiously optimistic. The coaching staff is determined to get the most out of their roster, and with the possible addition of these key players, the offense could look very different. The offensive line has shown improvement, and with a competent quarterback behind center, the passing game could finally reach the level that fans have been hoping for. The defense, as always, remains a stronghold, one of the best in the league, so if the offense can just find a rhythm, the Steelers could be serious contenders once again. And don't forget, the Steelers are no strangers to overcoming adversity. Their rich history includes multiple Super Bowl victories, legendary players, and a culture of toughness that is unmatched in the league. This offseason might be the start of a new chapter 1, where they make bold moves, challenge the status quo, and aim to bring another Lombardi trophy back to Pittsburgh. In the end, whether it's Rodgers, Cousins, Pitts, or another name, the key takeaway is that the Steelers are actively exploring options to revitalize their offense and position themselves for a deep playoff run. They are not content with being mediocre, they want to compete at the highest level, and they are willing to make bold decisions to get there. That's what makes this offseason so exciting for Steelers fans. The possibility that big changes are just around the corner. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this potential trade? Do you think the Steelers should pursue Kirk Cousins and Kyle Pitts? Or do you believe they should focus on other avenues, like drafting a young quarterback or signing a different free agent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and breaking news. So stay tuned, stay passionate, and let us keep the Steelers spirit alive. Thanks for watching, and as always, here's to another Steelers season filled with hope, grit, and victory.